Hello, my name's Angela from Angela Simpson Functional Medicine Physiotherapy. Thanks for joining me, and I'd like to talk to you today about gut health and how it could be affected by a surgery that you have had at some point in your life, in particular on your torso, so somewhere in your abdominal wall. And it could be something that you had done very long ago, even as young as when you were a child, or it could be something that was done more recently. For females, it is quite common to have had a surgery if you have had a child, and the rates of C-section now are between 30 and 35% on average. And so there is a lot of females between the ages of 25 to 45 that have actually had a C-section. And the reason that I'm talking about this is because often people don't realize it, but after they have had an abdominal surgery, there are some changes to their digestion. And you may notice this directly. You may have some differences with your bowel movements and it may alert you that there's something going on. You may also have some abdominal bloating at times. It may even be related to immediately after you eat, or it could even seem quite a bit more random than that. Some women will report more bloating, in particular around timing of their cycles as they're getting closer to their period. And sometimes they just equate this to just hormone changes and it's just part of life. But quite commonly, if you have had an abdominal surgery, it's not just related to hormonal changes in relation to your cycle. It's actually related to scar tissue and adhesions that form over time after you have had a surgery. And with C-sections, it does form around the lower abdominal wall, and the other organs that are in the lower abdominal wall are your small and large intestines. And so it can actually affect the rate of things moving through for elimination in the large intestines, and it actually can also affect your ability to absorb key nutrients and key minerals in your small intestine, which is one of the primary functions here. And one other thing that it can potentially cause, if the scar tissue does actually bind down onto one of the valves that actually allows the small intestine to transition easily into the large intestine, it actually can really back up your digestive flow, and it can create a host of symptoms. And it can actually even create a problem that is called SIBO, S-I-B-O, and it's short for small intestinal bacterial overgrowth. And I have seen this quite commonly with women that have had C-sections, or they've had an appendectomy at some point in their life, even as young as a child, or they've had to have some other abdominal surgery for some reason. And they do wonder why they feel so unwell. Often women don't have a lot of energy, or they have a lot of bloating, and they just don't feel like they can actually even strengthen their abdominal wall and do some of the activities that they enjoy doing. And so often I have in the past worked with people as a physiotherapist and worked on getting rid of adhesions and trying to keep that scar mobile, but I have discovered that there is a deeper root cause to why women are not feeling well. And it often has to do with bacteria being trapped between that small and large intestine, or somewhere along that chain, because of scar tissue. And so although it is important to work on the scar tissue and get it moving, it is equally important to work on the inside and actually start working on clearing the bacteria that way. And the only way to do this is to actually have an individualized approach and have some specialized testing done to actually learn where the imbalances are in your gut system. If there is some particular bacteria out of balance, you'll need to get it back into balance, and you need to know what it is and how to do this. And so if you do feel like you are suffering from some of these symptoms, abdominal bloating, fatigue that seems unwarranted, even if you are eating a healthy diet and trying to exercise, or weakness in your abdominal wall that even though you're trying to strengthen, despite everything that you do, you still can't seem to become strong and more functional for the activities that you like to do, please feel free to give me a call, because I'm happy to have a consult with you to talk about this. And the truth of the matter is if you actually don't get this improving for yourself, it may not just cause the symptoms that you're having now. If you do have bacteria that is unfavorable in between the small or large intestine, or somewhere along this chain that is getting trapped and not moving properly, it can actually cause toxin recirculation in your body, and it can lead to chronic disease. It can actually even potentially put you at risk for things like cancer. And so it is really important that you learn how to get this bacteria moving, you learn how to get your gut health back on track, and you learn how to maintain this along with the mobility in your abdominal wall from the potential adhesions that have been sitting there for potentially years and years and years. Like I said, please feel free to contact me. You can reach me at my website, www.angelasimpsonfunctionalmedicine.ca. Thank you.